Hey YouTube, so today is Monday and I'm starting to do the work on the deck. This board here that you're looking at is cut. The foundation, this is how low the siding hangs from the house. Then there's that much space to the foundation. So this is actually going to rest on the foundation. Now this is a 1x8. All this is going to be used for is to fill the gap between the house and the deck. And I'm not attaching the deck to the house. Okay, I don't want it attached to the house. I want it to have a little bit of a gap there. There's treated wood behind this that I'm going to nail into, and the purpose of that is to keep any critters from going in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to nail that against the house, and I'm also going to put some of this mesh so that nothing very small, this is hardware cloth, come down and under the ground so nothing can or wants to dig in there. And then the 2x6s, for those of you who are not carpenters, one of the things that you look at when you are working with lumber, all lumber is pretty much bent. There's very few pieces of wood that are not bent in one way or another. So you look at it and you want to put the crown up. In other words, the wood goes like this slightly. So you want that to be up because the weight of whatever is going to be on this will pull down on this. Okay, that's the purpose. Now you want to make sure that you do this all the time. If you put one up and one down, you may not have a nice even deck. You might have a messy floor. It'll be like this. So you want to put them all up and let the weight of the deck push them down or pull them down over the years. Okay, so that's one thing we've done. So I've marked this for where the 4x4s go. This is the board here, this 2x6, that's going to have to be cut like this top board here, this one. Okay, because there's not enough space between where the top of the frame has to be and the ground to allow this like this. So I want to keep some wood off of the ground. So I'm letting these legs be where the concrete is. Now the nuisance part of the deck build, which if I was doing this for a customer, this would be a sketchy thing, but as long as you prepare for it, you're all right, is that boards like this, or the ends of these, need to be treated again, okay? You need to treat them. So what we're going to do is I'm cutting ahead of time the boards that I'm going to need, and then I'm going to go ahead and treat them. Okay, so this 4x4, this is the first 4x4 we're going to be cutting. It's actually in the second row from the house. You got the first set of piers, then you got the second set of piers. This is the one closest to the house, and it has to be notched out to receive the 2x6. Okay, so I measured the 2x6 and marked this. So I know the height of this because I had it, the top of the frame, I had it from the surveying I did. So the way to notch this out of here, one quick way, and there's a number of ways you can do it, but the way we're going to do it is we're going to pick and hold the saw in there, and we're looking at the blade here, and we're setting the tooth on the blade right at the line so that we don't cut any deeper than that. Okay, so there's a line here. Now all we're going to do is just cut a series of cuts through this and then break them off with a hammer. And the bottom cut is important, so you want to do those first. Make sure you start the saw back far enough and go all the way through with your cut. Don't come out of this cut before you get through it. So once you make a series of cuts in there, and your boards will pretty much, or your pieces will come out of there fairly easy. Now what you're going to want to do here with this is you're going to want to take a chisel and just cut to the bottom of the saw cut and skim this off of here. There's a knot in there. That's normally, if there's no knots in the wood, it'll break off clean, but there's a knot in here and that's why it's broke off a little rough. So I'm going to take a chisel and chisel that off of there. Now there's a number of ways to do this. The reason I'm notching this is because I want the 2x6 to be flush with the 4x4. Because on the outside of the 4x4 I'm going to be putting a board around here to give it a finished look. You'll see what I mean as I go. Now this is the part that's sort of a pain because it actually slows you down. If I was building a deck out of treated wood, I wouldn't have to stop and necessarily do this. Now this does blend the wood into the color of the treated wood if you were to, you know, make a cut on regular treated wood. Now let me just show you here. This 4x4 is pressure treated. Well, you can see that the color of it is slightly different. Now it doesn't really matter on this 4x4 that I have notched out here because all of this is going to get covered. However, like say the ends of the boards were showing at a corner, that's when you would want to maybe treat that. But it's not really necessary to treat the treated wood because the treatment's already gone through there. But it's not going to hurt it either. So we're just going to treat this twice. I'll put this on here. It's a warm day. I'm going to let it soak in. And then I'll treat it again quick so I can nail it up. Because even though it's fairly warm, it's overcast and I don't know if we're going to get something or not. It doesn't take long to do it. And knowing that you got something on there and you're attempting to, you know, treat this thing, is at least you got a good feeling about it anyway. These boards that I'm cutting here are part of the frame, and this one here with this weird cut on it is just for the, it goes against the house, this goes under the patio door, down and around the siding. I just want to put another treated board there to make sure that nothing can, you know, eat through there or get anything underneath the deck, underneath the patio door I mean. It's not really necessary, I'm just putting it there because I want to. Okay, so I have some boards over by where the deck is going to be. I'm nailing them here because I already have the 2x6, or cutting them here because I have the 2x6s here. It makes it a lot easier for me to cut them rather than move them all over there and cut them. I can just move them over there after I cut them. So I'll take you over there then and show you what I got going over there. Okay, so here's what we got so far here. First I'll show you what I meant about notching that board on the opposite side there. So if you look, hey YouTube, so this is where I got so far today with framing this deck. So gotta keep framing around this pit. Probably, I don't know, maybe in a couple hours, tomorrow, an hour, half an hour, I ought to be able to finish that up. I really like working with this lumber that was cut on the sawmill because it's got a really nice square edge on it, as opposed to the rounded edge that's on treated wood, regular treated wood. So yeah, I think we're gonna be pretty good here. I like the way that it's coming out. I had said before that I was making this like this so I could get the lawnmower by it. So maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 more joists, plus a couple pieces to get around the fire pit, and then I should be in good shape with this. Guys, if you've never done this kind of work before, and one of the ways to cut angles is, like say this angle that's down here and the one that's over there, if you take a string and put a string on the corner here or wherever you want to hit. In my case I hit the center here because that's where the other board was, down at the bottom. But you put a string, just tack a little nail in there, put a string on it, and pull the string over to that post over there where you want the board to go. You can see this board just clipped the very corner of that post. So then you can assume that your 4x4, or you should be able to assume that it's fairly square the way you're, in the way that you're using it. Now this has a little twist in it, but I can straighten that out as I make the handrail. But the point is that you can put your framing square, the big tongue, along this side, and you read the reading that's on the short tongue on the string, and that'll give you the idea for the angle that you need. It'll give you the right angle. All you got to do is take it and flip that around when you put it on the board. So anyway, I'm tired for one day. That's as much as I can do. I still have to clean up, but we'll enjoy this once it's done. Yeah, this is all the lumber from the kiln except for the 4x4s. And now that I know about this treating, womanizing stuff, if I would have known it, I wouldn't have even bought the 4x4s. I'd have used my own. But we're good there with that. The way that I'm making this, I don't know if you've ever seen it this way. I'm sure you might have. The deck boards are going to lay on top of this, going this direction, but I don't want to see the edges of them. So what I do then is I take and make this even with the 4x4 around here, and then I'll just take a 1x12, treated 1x12, and wrap right around this, and also hide the edges of the 2x6 that you'll see. I'll show you that as I go. Anyway, like I say, I'm done for the day. Okay guys, have a good one. Bye. Hey YouTube. So I decided to go on the second shift, and I finished framing this around here. So that'll be ready for the deck boards. I got to do a little bit of work over there by the threshold. I want to dress that up better. And that's about it. I'll fill these holes and stuff for today, I mean. The boards that are going to go against the stone there, I'm not going to try fitting them perfectly on the stone. I'm just going to stay maybe an inch away from the stone and cantilever the board, because they'll be nailed here, there, so cantilever. Same thing coming the other direction, they can cantilever as close to the fireplace as I can. If I get within an inch, that's close enough, or a little more. So yeah, what I was saying about these angle cuts here, when you go to cut those cuts like that, where's the other one? Well, this one's a little off, it's probably from me. But when you go to cut them, if you put, sorry about that, the battery went dead. All I was saying was, you know, you put the framing square, the big side against this, and let the small side aim in, pull a string across it, and whatever number you're reading, that'll be the angle that you need on the inside of the square. Now you'll read that one, because you're using the inside of the square to go against this. It's not very hard. If somebody really wanted to know, I could make a video about it. It's the same thing with roof racks. It's very easy to use a framing square. Once you know how to do it, you'll never forget it. Anyway, yeah, so I got done with this, and believe me, I'm tuckered out. I can't believe that I actually got the whole frame done. I knew I could do it, or at least at one time I could do it. I didn't think I'd be able to do it now. Yeah, I think I'm going to put a bench over there and across there, and in here I'm going to put a flower box. So I think that's what she wants. The flower box will get the sun in the morning if it's over on this side. And then over here I'm going to cantilever these boards and leave them come out to about right here. I want to bring them over just far enough that the rain coming off the roof doesn't hit the deck. And then we'll plant a little garden, or I'll put some chips and rocks in there or something. Not sure what yet. But got to put those flat rocks, like I was saying, in here. I said that before. And I'm not going to have any railing coming off there because it's only one step. So this ought to be good for our two of us and a couple of guests, I suppose. I eventually want to go that direction with it, but I don't want to do it now. There's no, we have no real need for it. We enjoy this room over here, the two of us, to sit in there when it's really hot out. So got to do a little bit of trimming here and there yet on this, and then it'll be good to put the boards down. I'm not sure what I want to use yet. I'm not sure if I want to use the 2x on here or if I want to use 1x. A full 1-inch thick board will work pretty well on top of that. The only thing is I don't like the idea of using 1x12. Although I was thinking about planing it on one face and then, you know, put that face up so that it was nice and smooth. I'll see once what happens. Doesn't matter what I use. It'll be fine with the framing that I've done here. I got to tell you that I really like using the lumber that comes off the sawmill better than I do buying lumber. It's square. You've got a flat edge there to match up. It's real easy to match up. You don't have that narrow little straight edge because the two edges of the wood from the factories are rounded. I really don't like that. I like this. I really like working with the 2-inch lumber. And this stuff is as light as a feather. Believe me, this stuff dried really nice. And it soaked up the womanizing very well too. Alright guys, that's it for today. Have a good one. And don't forget, you older guys, you can do it. You still got what it takes. Just get out there and do it. Yes, my back hurts, my legs hurt, my feet hurt, but so what? I've had worse. Good night. Hey guys, one last thing here. You see, notice that last board there, how nice the color of it is? That was treated with that stuff I used. Compare that to that 4x4. You know, they look just like treated lumber after it dries good.